the Staten Island Comedy Show.
Yes.
We're going to have a great show for you tonight, so stay tuned.
Whoa.
We have comedians. We have tons of comedians tonight, Fred.
Yeah, I know.
From all over.
All over the world.
All over the island.
All over the...
But you know what, Fred? This guy goes into a interviewer, and he goes up to the secretary and says, I'm here for the interview. And the secretary tells him, listen, whatever you do, don't mention the guy has no ears because you won't get the job. So he goes in, they do the interview. At the last question, the interviewer says to the guy, what do you know peculiar about my face? And the guy says, you have no ears. He says, well, I'm sorry I can't hire you. Boom. 2 other people go in, same thing happens. The third guy goes in, and he says, the secretary said, listen, there's been guys coming in all day. I keep telling them, do not mention the interviewer's ears, or else you won't get the job. He says, okay. So he goes in. They do all the, they do all the thing. The last question, Fred, he says, do you know anything peculiar about my face? So the guy says, oh, you wear contacts. And the interviewer says, oh yeah, good. How do you know that? He goes, because if you had ears, you'd be wearing glasses.
Yeah.
Freddie, if you had ears, he would have been wearing glasses.
Yeah, right.
So, all right, Freddie, we got a big show tonight. So without further ado, Freddie Coscia.
Pretty good.
Great. We're gonna have a great show tonight, and we have our co-host tonight, Al Martin. Al Martin.
Right, Alan.
Owns a few comedy clubs in the New York City area.
Broadway Comedy Club and Greenwich Village Comedy Club.
Awesome, awesome. And you're also an author of a book.
Yes, did it on a dare, How I Built a Comedy Empire in 30 short years.
Wow,
Great.
that's pretty short.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Congratulations.
The sequel's going to be How the Pandemic Screwed It Up in 6 months.
yeah, I hear you.
That's funny.
Okay, we also have Miranda Panda. How you doing, Miranda?
I'm doing okay. Thank you, Nevin.
Awesome.
Just
You're
working my
looking
butt
good
off.
tonight.
Thank you. So are you.
Oh, thank you.
Spiffy.
And we also have, you calling me Urbane? Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you. We also have Jody Oliver. Jody, how you doing
Hi,
tonight?
Nevin. How are you?
Good, good. Looking very lovely tonight.
Thank you.
Okay. And,
Got a lot of good things going on.
right, you have the Den of Comedy.
Den of Comedy, and that's on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And my new show, the Jody Oliver Show, is premiering this coming Sunday.
Oh, awesome. So out
Amazing.
there in Staten Island and New York City, keep an ear out for that one. It's going to be a good one. She has great comedians coming on the
Yes.
shows, right? Okay, also, so let's get on with it, huh, Al?
Let's do
Okay,
it.
so the first comedian is Goldberg. How you doing,
Hey,
Goldberg?
Nevin. Hi, everyone. Good to see you. Good to be back in
All
Staten
right.
Island. I actually used to live in Staten Island.
Oh, yeah?
Then I made bail.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you made it.
It's interesting.
So Goldberg, where are you from?
Actually, originally from Brooklyn. I'm now living in New Jersey.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And who is your favorite comedian?
I loved Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lewis is my idol.
Right, right.
Loved
Oh,
Jerry
yeah, you were
Lewis.
on the last
Yeah,
show.
Loved the shtick. Loved Jerry Lewis.
Right, right.
Loved Jackie Mason.
He looks a little like him, huh, now?
Yeah.
Right.
Buddy Hackett, too.
Oh,
Buddy
yeah,
Hackett?
Yes.
I can see it.
That's a compliment.
Hopefully.
Buddy Hackett.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So, what made you get into comedy, Goldberg?
I've always loved laughter. I love laughing. I found laughter to really get me through really hard times. You know, I think it's really important to laugh. You know, I always like to tell the story about my mother. When she was on her deathbed, I get a call from the doctor and said, you gotta come in now. And I get there, my mother's on a ventilator, and she tries to talk, and I said, no, don't talk, Ma. We got it, walk to the light. And she goes, she wanted to write something. And I'm like, oh my God, she's gonna write something that's gonna be so meaningful to me. And I scream to the nurse and doctor, get her something to write. And she struggles and she writes, where's my teeth? And so
That's very important.
That is
That's very
very
important.
important.
Very
So,
important.
you know, laughter gets you through the hard times. So it's important to laugh.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
Do you hate it when somebody comes up on the street and asks you to say something funny?
Yeah, because I never have anything funny to say. So it's,
okay.
it's really awesome. It's really
Oh, you
hard.
just said something funny. You're good.
Thank
You're
you.
good here on the
Thank
Staten
you.
Island Comedy Show. We're
Thank
all
you.
full of bottom feeders here.
Yes, absolutely.
Bottom feeding.
You know, it's interesting. I researched the name Staten Island. Did you know that Staten Island was named after the States General?
The States General?
Yeah, States General, like that. There's no name. It was just named after the States General. That's like me naming my son after Fred Drum. That's what they named Staten Island. Seriously, it's true.
Yeah, I heard we lost the race. Did you hear that, Al? We
No.
lost the race. They were racing a canoe or something from New Jersey. Whoever loses gets, either New Jersey wins. If they lose, they get Staten Island. If New York wins or loses, they get Staten Island. And the loser got
Really?
Staten
Wow.
Island. That's what I heard.
But did you see
wow.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not. We'll
Yeah,
have to
it
ask.
probably is.
We'll have to ask Kevin Kumquat of the Faker News. He was here tonight. He knows all truth.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So you have 8 minutes for us?
Sure, I have
wait,
8
wait,
minutes.
before you go, I forgot the all-important question. Where can they find you on Facebook?
They can find me on Instagram, Goldberg Comic. You can find me on Twitter, Goldberg_comic. But they are trying to kick me off Twitter because they found out I stayed at Trump Plaza in 2004. So I don't know if I'm still there, but look me up. I'm actually going to be performing at the Broadway Comedy Club on Wednesday. So
Oh,
tomorrow.
awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Awesome. Okay. Goldberg, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Fred. Look at Fred, all like patriotic. I love it for July 4th, huh? Everyone have for July 4th?
Beyond that.
Beyond that, but July 4th is a weird holiday. It's the holiday where people pay like $1,000 on fireworks, but then they complain about the $200 copay to reattach their fingers.
That's true.
You know, it's a weird holiday, July 4th. And you know what's weird? You know, you study the history of the country, and what's the big thing that started our country? The Boston Tea Party, right? We talk about the Boston Tea Party.
We don't even
'Cause
like tea.
we couldn't take getting taxed on our tea.
Wow.
Now they tax the tea. They tax the cup. They tax the gas to make the tea. They tax the sewer where you eliminate the tea. They tax everything.
Everything.
Ridiculous. But you know, I love this time of year because it's concert season. Concert season. It's summer concert season. I just saw the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead were in town
They're
this
alive.
weekend. Yeah, they were in town
They're still alive?
Friday. Yep. Well, what's left of the Grateful Dead. I went to see Dead and Company in City Field Friday. You know, 30 years ago, I used to go to Dead shows. I used to bring my drugs, my pot, my acid. Went to a Dead show Friday. I brought my drugs, my Motrin, my Maalox, my children's aspirin, just in case. Doctor says, you know, you have to carry children's aspirin, just in case you think you're having a heart attack. I'm 60, I'm Jewish, COVID hit. I take a bottle of these things every day. Everyone's being tested for COVID, I'm being tested for aspirin poisoning. It's ridiculous. What a doctor I have. I hate it. What else is going on? Oh, last month was Pride Month. Let's hear it for Pride Month. And let me tell you, people, you gotta come out. You gotta let people know who you are. I mean, I came out recently, it didn't go well, but I'm still glad I came out. And I'm surprised it didn't go well. Because my cousin came out, he came out transgender. They were so nice to him, but they brought him Liza Minnelli albums, they took him to Broadway shows. I came out Orthodox Jewish, and my family flipped out. They flipped out. My kids are like, Dad, what the hell is wrong with you? You're putting us back a generation. My wife of 26 years, who I love, she said to me, wait a minute, you want me to give up bacon and lobster for you? What are you, nuts? Came out after visiting Israel, most beautiful country in the world, but everyone's fighting over it.
Everyone's fighting over it. And it literally is the size of New Jersey. The size of New Jersey. Do you know what the other 49 states would say if a bunch of Jews took over New Jersey? You know what they would say? Thank you. That's what they would say. I tell you, I love being Jewish about holidays, man. They're nuts. They're nuts. The Christians have the holiday of Christmas. We have the holiday of Hanukkah. And it's a big miracle. What's the miracle? The light was supposed to last 1 night. It lasted 8 nights. You call that a miracle? Keith Richards is still alive! That's a miracle! I found a woman to marry me and have my children, and she's a doctor, no less. That's a miracle. Let me tell you, it's so weird being married to a doctor during COVID. You know, I ask her all these questions. You know what she says to me? I don't know anything about COVID. I don't know. I'm like, but, no, she doesn't know. I'm like, what good are you? The doctor doesn't know, but the barista at Starbucks has all the answers. But she told me something, and listen, people, you watching, you write this down, it may save your life. I didn't know what type of mask to wear. Do I wear an NK95 mask, KN95 mask, Gator surgical mask? She told me, wear a Jets mask. J-E-T-S. Because if you're wearing that, you're not catching a goddamn thing. But and, you know, you can get anything you want if you say the magic words, my wife is a doctor. It's true. I ordered a fridge from Best Buy, and they said, oh, sir, we can't get it to you for over a month because of the supply chain demand. I said, you don't understand. My wife is a doctor. Came the next day. I wanted a flight on JetBlue, wanted to go to Vegas. No, sir, well, there are no flights. We have the pilot strike and all that stuff, and we don't have a seat. I said, no. You don't understand. My wife is a doctor. Culture first class. I have never been on stage before. I'm not a comic. I called Nevin. I said, Nevin, I want to be on this show. He said, but you're not a comic. I said, no, Nevin, you don't understand. My wife is a doctor. And here I am. But listen, people, this may be the last time you see me. I signed a big-time movie deal. I am so excited. Movies are really big, right? Superheroes are big, right? You hear about, you got the black superhero, Black Panther. You got the female superhero, Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot. You have a transgender superhero. You even have a Protestant superhero called the Wasp. I will be the new Jewish superhero called the Jewish Kvetch. And my superpower is I make the villains feel so guilty that they surrender. Go ahead, destroy the universe. See if I care. But just know you're breaking your mother's heart. Oh, look at you, flying from planet to planet with those fancy schmancy flying machines. That you have time for? To visit your parents you have no time? What is wrong with you? But like every superhero, I do have my kryptonite. Oh my God, is that a clearance sale? It's coming out next summer. Go see it. You know, let me tell you something. Everyone is so mean to each other these days. Everyone is so mean to each other. And, you know, I just have to tell you a wonderful story that happened to me. I was in ShopRite, and I was going to ShopRite, and it was during the height of COVID. And I parked my car all the way back. It was snowing. It was sleeting. And I get to the front of the store, and I realized I forgot my mask. I forgot my mask. I left on the, rear view mirror. And I don't know, I just broke down. I just started to cry. Guy comes out and he says, what's the matter? I said, I forgot my mask and I gotta go walk. I'm all the way down into the snow and the sleet. I can't believe it. I hate COVID. It's got more personalities than Kanye West already. I just can't take this. You know what this kind guy did? You know what this guy did? He took his own mask off his face and gave it to me to wear. And I've been wearing it since May 2020, and I haven't gotten COVID. Now that's a miracle. Thank you. My name is Goldberg.
Wow, that was awesome.
Wow.
Great start.
That was good. That was good. Huh?
Very good.
That was good.
Great start.
Impressed.
Love it.
So Al,
Yes,
what's
and
the,
Evan.
what's the title of your book, and how long did it take you to write it? I know you said it before, but we want to hear it again.
Did it on a dare, how I built a comedy empire in 30 short years. And it took me during the pandemic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, what was the dare?
Well, basically, I was dating a girl that was doing open mic comedy, and she said to me, come watch my show. I went to a comedy club to watch her, and as women are apt to do sometimes, she asked me 40 times after her set, how was my set? How was my set? How was my set? How was my set? I kept saying, it was good, it was good, it was good. And she then asked me one more time, how was my, finally I lost it. And I said, it sucked, it was terrible, terrible. And she said, you think you're funny? I go, yeah, I'm all right, but I'm not a stand-up comic. She said, well, I dare you to go up on that open mic next week. And that was the dare. I went up a week later,
Wow.
and I got hooked.
Wow, awesome, awesome.
I got hooked,
awesome.
like very
Really.
similar before the show.
Right.
We were all hanging in a green room, right? And that's what I got hooked on, the sense of community among comedians.
Oh, awesome.
And then I later found out they're all out of their minds. So.
Especially Kevin Kumquat, right?
Yeah, Kevin.
Oh, God, Kevin.
Yeah, he's a piece of work.
Okay, so we're going to come back to you in a little bit because you have some tips, the Al's Golden Rules in
Golden
the
Rules
book.
of Comedy,
And
yes.
tune in Staten Island, you'll hear tips. If you'd like to get into the comedy game, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we'll have some tips from Al later. But right now, we're going to move along to Miranda Panda. And Miranda, our next guest is
Donna.
Donna Lloyd.
Donna Lloyd.
Donna, nice to meet you, Donna.
Nice to meet you all. Thank you for having me.
I have well, first I'll ask you, where are you from, and how long have you been doing comedy?
Okay. Originally from Suffern, not the town, the relationship. No, I live in Long Branch at the Jersey Shore, and I've been doing comedy for exactly 5 years now.
Nice. Wow.
Oh, awesome.
So I have an interesting question. I want to ask this one. What is your favorite one-line joke?
My favorite one-line joke that I wrote or that someone else wrote?
Either one.
My favorite one-line joke. Boy, you're putting me on the spot. I don't know if I have one. I don't know if it's one line. So.
Well, I have one.
Okay.
He's got a lot.
What did the cannibal get when he was late for dinner?
What?
The cold shoulder.
Freddie's going to be busy quite a bit on this show. Right?
Yeah, I hear that.
A lot of slapstick.
And who is your favorite comedian?
Well, my favorite comedian kind of varies. I go way back, way back. I'm a George Burns fan. George Burns and Jack Benny. That's kind of split.
Awesome. Awesome. You got a cool set for us tonight?
A close-up?
No,
cool
a cool
set.
set.
Oh, I hope so.
But wait a minute.
I thought I was going to get a close-up.
Also that too.
Yes, I
Also
have.
a
I have a
close-up.
set. I don't know if it's cool, but I'm going to try it.
But first, where can we find you? You have, on Facebook or?
I'm on social medias, Donna Lloyd Comedy, YouTube, and I'm on a podcast called Logics and Laughs.
Oh, awesome.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Okay. Donna Lloyd, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up, New York?
Yeah.
All right, what's up, New York?
Hey.
Okay. I love New York. Thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah. I love all of the 5 boroughs in New York. You know, each borough has like its own little vibe and culture and accent, right? It's like each borough is its own little country, right? Queens is a little like its own planet. If I ever go back to Queens, I have to get airlifted and have my own trailer. I'm not driving back there again. Brooklyn is interesting. Brooklyn is like the only place on the planet where it's easier to get weed than a parking spot. Right? They don't even have drug dealers over there anymore. They just have dudes saving parking spots. Yo, I got a square for you right here. Staten Island is to New York what Sicily is to Italy. And it's always the 5 boroughs in Long Island, right? Like Long Island is some half-brother no one wants to admit to. But I was out there recently, and I realized it's more like a rich uncle that doesn't want to deal with the rest of his crazy family. But there's a lot of differences. I live at the Jersey Shore, exit 105. And don't worry, folks, I am half Italian.
That's right, yeah.
You want to keep up with those Jersey Shore regulations, right? Must be at least all Italian, half Italian, or accompanied by an Italian down there. The Jersey Shore is very busy right now. We have a lot of New Yorkers. A lot of people from all over come to the Jersey Shore, but
They might stay there.
that's right. We're afraid of that.
Yeah.
But they're from all over New York, and we not just New York City, but we have people from upstate New York, and they're really easy to spot down at the Jersey Shore because they have the cut-off flannel shirts and the cut-off jeans for bathing suits, and they usually play frisbee with a cigarette on the beach, going, "Play more Leonard Skinner." We have whole families piling down on the train from baby to grandma, dancing salsa, merengue in the beach. It's like, Joe, Papi, sit down in the chair and take your shoes off, put your toes in the sand. But we get along. We all get along down at the Jersey Shore. Things are changing down there too. I got to tell you, they're changing. Did you know they're changing all of the traffic lights in New Jersey now? Wow. From the traditional red, yellow, and green. Now they're just going to read text, send, and go, bitches. Let's see, what else? And also, with the gas prices now, a lot more people are riding bicycles. You have to be careful. I know up here, like a grown man on a bicycle is a 3-time DUI, right? But down at the Jersey, we have those down at the Jersey Shore too. But they're easy to spot because they have the 6-pack up front and the cigarette, and if they're really functioning, they got some lawn equipment on the back. But we actually have guys that are exercising. I don't know if you guys have seen this where they lay down and ride. Have you seen this bicycle? They lay down and ride.
Yeah.
Suicidal, right? They're gonna get killed.
They have them over here.
Yeah, and then we have these other guys that ride their bicycle and they're towing their children behind them in a little tent with a big red flag that says, "Please come end my miserable existence." I don't mean to pick on men, I'm sorry. I just don't see women doing this. But I guess it's hard when you have kids. You got to figure out something, right? I never had any children, but one time I thought I was pregnant and my boyfriend was so excited. He was running around the house going, "You're having my baby. What a lovely way of saying how much you love me." I said, "I'm selling it on eBay." Hey, I'm making some extra money. No, I was never able to have children because condoms are very, very cheap. Let's see, what else can I tell you? I just lost a really good job that I had for a year and a half. Unemployment. Press 1 for no, 2 for yes. It's like, "Have you been actively seeking work?" I'm like, "Yeah." For a year and a half, I was living la vida COVID, baby. I don't know what else to say. Oh boy, but it got tough. It got a little rough, I got to tell you. And it was getting a little tough, and I ended up. I'm not ashamed. I'm a little ashamed to admit it. I started walking the streets for money. I did. And my mom always told me if I didn't go to college, I would end up walking the streets for money. And she's a little disappointed now that I'm not a hooker, I'm just a dog walker. She thought I'd make a lot more money by now. But dog walking is an interesting business, and you can always tell there's differences between like dog owners and cat owners, right? I mean, cat owners always have to have more than one cat. Dog owners, if you go away, they leave like a couple Post-its, how to take care of their animal. But if you go away for a cat visit, they've got like a 2-inch manual for each cat, right? It's like when Mr. Jingles does his wee-wee outside the box, he's just being a brat. Don't worry, we have cleaning supplies under the sink. And then when Mrs. B is done with her food, she has to get her medicine, follow her into the bedroom, go under the bed, grab her by the back of the neck, and shove the medicine down her throat. And she'll put up a fuss, but don't worry, there's a first aid kit under the sink in the bathroom. And dog owners always say the same thing, right? And it's like, we never wanted a dog, but she found us. God bless her heart. She's like an angel. So anyway, that's what I do now. I spent way too much time watching television like everybody else during the pandemic. But I gotta tell you, I learned a lot of stuff there. I watched a lot of things. Did anybody ever see this commercial? It's like a commercial where the women are shaving their little bushes into the shapes of hearts and diamonds. I got creative. I shaved mine into the shape of a cheeseburger. Just hoping my guy will eat there more often. I was going to shave it to the shape of a hot dog, but I didn't want to confuse the poor guy. Folks, my name is Donna Lloyd. It's Donna Lloyd Comedy.
Yeah.
Look for me on Logic and Laughs and YouTube. Thank you so much, Staten Island. We love you.
Woo! Wow,
Wow.
that was very, very good.
Back to back, man.
Yeah,
Love
yeah,
it.
was
So,
good.
Love
It was
it.
good. We got a good flow, got a lot of
We're
energy,
rocking.
right?
We're
Yeah.
rolling.
Back.
Awesome. So Al,
Yeah.
in your book, you have some golden rules. Can you give some tips from the book that the book provides to up-and-coming comedians?
Yeah, don't
What-
quit
what
your
are-
day job. Wait a minute.
Well, one of the most golden rules, obviously, is to travel as light as possible to become a successful comedian. Meaning, the less, and sometimes it's too late, especially Goldberg's situation, he's married. But, if you're really going to become a full-time comedian, it's very difficult, at least in the beginning, to maintain a relationship because to become good, you have to get up 5, 6, 7 times a week.
And you got to sleep in your car.
Yeah, you got to be and
Right.
you should live close to New York City or L.A., the big areas that have a lot of stage time opportunities. Think about it. The person who lives all the way out in, say, Long Island, for instance, as opposed to someone living in Brooklyn, is going to have a lot less stage time opportunities than people, who live right in the city and can get to 5, 6, 7 open mics a week. You can get to 3 open mics in a night in Manhattan.
All right, so it
So-
pays to be close.
It pays to be close to Manhattan. It pays to have as few relationships in the beginning. So think about it. If you're married and you have a wife and children and you live in the suburbs, how often can you really get out without getting in trouble? Unless you have a very understanding family. So, on the other hand, if you are single and living in Manhattan or Brooklyn or one of the boroughs, you can get out a lot more.
Awesome.
That makes
So
a lot of sense.
and that's one of the golden rules
That's
in the
one
book.
Of, that's one of the golden rules in the
Okay.
book. Did it on a dare.
Did it on the dare. Okay,
that's-
and we'll
that's
visit that
interesting.
book again.
Yes.
During the show.
Yes.
So, but our next comic, which
can't wait.
Jody Oliver will introduce, is
Key Fitz.
Hey! What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Keith?
All right.
How are you, Key?
I'm doing great. Glad to be back here.
And first of all, before we start anything, where can people find you?
People can find me in Rikers Island. And, actually, you can find me on my Facebook under Key Fitz, Keyfitz. Most people mix that up, or they call me Fritz at the end of my name for some reason. They like to mix me up with a 1960s porno cat. But yeah, you can find me on Key Fitz on Facebook.
And if somebody came up to you and asked you to do a joke for them, would you do it?
No. No. I tell them, screw you guys, I'm out of here. When people ask me this, and I do get asked that, please tell me something funny. I tell them I have nothing funny to say and I walk away. Literally. And I do it more of a joke to do so, but I mean, they ask me, it's like asking somebody, doing open heart surgery, yeah, can you just do a little massage on the heart here at the moment?
Yeah.
Just out of the kindness of your heart.
And Key, how'd you get into comedy?
I did it on a dare. Matter of fact,
All right.
it's true.
There you go. There you go.
What happened many years ago when I was when I was young and I was debating what I wanted to do, I was thinking it was either doing comedy or doing doing music, and I did comedy in my grandparents' basement, and I bombed horribly. So then I decided, I'm doing music. I put out a couple of albums. I was doing pretty well with the music scene, and I was between members at my last band, and one of my friends who was in one of my bands, he had injured his back. So he took a comedy course at Governor's Comedy Class, the comedy club. And he was daring me, Key, get up here, do this, you can do this. Key, get up here, do this, do this. I told him, F you, book me. He's like, what? I said, you heard me, F you, book me.
Wow.
That was, I said, give me like 3 weeks, I'll come up with material. That was back in 2003.
Nice, nice.
Good. Good. And who's your favorite comedian?
Key Fitz. I mean,
Oh, I thought you were going to say Nevin Cummings.
you're my favorite TV host.
Oh, okay.
I'm sucking up. Let's see. I would say I have a few favorites. Rodney Dangerfield was one that I looked up to when I was younger. George Carlin I liked. But more recently, I would say, and I had met and had a decent conversation with Gabriel Iglesias. Yes, and he gave me a lot of advice for my career, and I stick with it ever to this day.
All right.
And his advice was get out of comedy.
All right, Keith. Do you have
a set for us?
I have a set, yes. Oh, you want me to do a comedy show?
Yes, 8
Okay.
minutes.
Keith Fitz, ladies and gentlemen.
Now I'm going to do exactly what Al said not to do. I'm not traveling light tonight. You know, listen, guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm feeling a little nervous today. So, you know what they tell you when you feel nervous, to picture everybody in their underwear? So I'm happy that this half of the group came commando tonight. By the way, Fred, nice thong. Let me ask you guys something. Now, you guys happy it's 2022? Woo! Good, I'm with the rest of you. I'm not. I turned 53 years old this year. Every year around my birthday, my parents bust my balls. Key, when are you going to cut your hair? I keep telling them never, because when I get old enough, this becomes the ultimate comb-over. By the way, I'm announcing my presidency for 2024. Yeah, I have things going wrong with my body now that I'm in my 50s, not like when I was in my 20s. Things that I have, like joints that are starting to predict the weather, which is kind of weird for weed, don't you think? Yeah, I have Charlie horses. I get them at the most inopportune times. My wife comes out in this sexy negligee, and I'm getting a stiffy in my calf. I'm rubbing out my calf. She says, Key, get over yourself. You're Irish. You're not that big. I have diabetes now. My doctor says I have to stay away from candy, which is weird. They've been telling me the same thing at the strip club for years. By the way, fellas, one bit of advice. The strip club is our dollar store. Now I tell everybody I'm going to the dollar store. Explains why I come home covered in glitter. I was in the arts and crafts section. I'm starting to say things I never thought I would in my life. Things like I remember when. Things like I remember when sticking it to the man was not the slogan promoting gay marriage. I remember when a GPS was the woman sitting next to you in the car. Stop and ask for directions. Wait up! Ask him. Ask him. Ask him. Recalculating. I remember when standing in the bushes outside somebody's bedroom window was called hopelessly romantic. And you stood there with that boombox with the 80s music. Do you want my body? And you think I'm sexy? Come on, baby, let me know. All right, I remember when that joke worked better. All right. I remember when a super spreader was Lisa's orgy. I remember when BC did not stand for before coronavirus. It meant for before cell phones. Yes. I remember when the original gender reveal party was the Central Park Flasher. I remember when people were nervous that the government was going to come into your house and put those listening devices. Now, we buy them, we put them in our own houses, and we name them. Hello, Alexa? I want to feel lucky tonight. Where can I find Rufinol?
Oh, God.
Yes, Alexa. That's like a song, isn't it? No. Come on down to Alexa. Oh, all right, whatever it was called. I forget how it went. Yeah, right? I remember when kids with ADD were simply cured by saying, "Shut up!" I remember when going to the bathroom was not a Facebook status. I remember when every morning I would get up and I would wake up and get morning wood. I'm so glad I got out of that prison. Yes. And I remember when I used to be able to move into a new neighborhood and not have to sign on to those online predator lists. What did I know? I thought Little League was synonymous with nudist colony. Yeah. So I mentioned my wife. I'm married. Thank you for not clapping. My wife, she's a great woman. Thank you, thank you. My wife, when she sleeps at night, she curls up in the covers kind of like some sort of cocoon. So in the morning, I'm expecting this beautiful butterfly, right? No, instead I get more thorough. Caw, caw, caw! I'm expecting, good morning, dear. Instead I got, stop poking me with that thing. My wife, she's Italian, but when you ask her what nationality she is, she has to break it down to the subparts. She's Sicilian and Napolitan. Like she's ordering her freaking pizza! So now I introduce her around. Hi, this is my wife. She's half Sicilian, half regular. As you see the guitar on stage, I am a musician. I sing for a band. When I tell people this, they always ask me the same question. When did the Partridge Family reunite? I look like Danny Partridge after he ate the other children. I was in a death metal band for diabetics. We were called Death by Chocolate. I'm going to do a couple songs for you guys. You guys want to hear them?
Woo!
Yeah.
6 of you, and the rest of you just want me to get off stage. I got it. All right. Let me just fish around for this for a second. All right, the first song I like to play for you is a little song I like to call the premature ejaculation song. Goes something like this. Oh, thank you. Now, if I knew tonight was going to go like this, I would have stayed home and watched porn. All right. My wife and I, we've been in a relationship for a long time. And on our 10th year anniversary, she asked me.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I just decided to break that as I do it. She decided to ask me to write her a love song. I did. I want to play that song for you guys right now. I just need the light man to dim the lighting so I can get the perfect mood lighting. That's perfect. Thank you. All right. The song goes something like this. I'm at home completely wasted, out of work and down. There's my wife, she won't stop nagging, she won't shut her mouth. I don't know what she's saying, it's all blah, 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 blah. If she don't shut her trap, it's an old sock in her mouth. Cause she's breaking my balls, 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 breaking my balls. A lot of married people in the studio audience tonight. There's my wife, she won't stop crying, she won't shut her trap. Just cause I came from the dollar store and somehow caught the clap. I don't know what she's saying, I don't have a clue. If I did, I would be single and banging prostitutes. Cause she's breaking my balls, breaking my balls, breaking my balls, breaking my... All right, thank you. I should have stayed home and watched porn. Thank you, everybody. I'm Keith Fitz.
All right. Hey, Fred, good show tonight, huh?
Oh yeah, man, rolling.
Rolling. We had a lot of energy. We're all fired up.
And rolling.
Yeah.
We got Miranda back.
Miranda Panda
Yeah.
and Jody Oliver. So Miranda, what have you been doing? I heard you're online doing something.
Yeah, I have a web series that I've been doing every Saturday called The Green Room. We've been having a lot of cool guests. We had Martin Cove from Cobra Kai. And Karate Kid. We had Sally Kirkland recently on. We had Steven Tobolowsky, a bunch of different people. So it's pretty cool. And we do like little skits. And we have a storyline now where we're all praying to like an ominous lake. It's going more of like a horror theme now. Okay. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
And you could see it on Facebook Live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
But we're trying to transition to other streaming platforms and eventually, hopefully, an actual like greenlit show.
Oh, awesome. All right, you got to check that out. Now, Al,
Yes.
who inspired you to write this great book?
My wife.
All right.
Good idea.
All right.
Smart answer, right?
Yeah. if you,
No,
if
but
you want.
it's the truth. She said, you know, you got the downtime now. Out and write that book.
And it was during the pandemic, right?
During the pandemic, and she really kind of got me going.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And do you have another quick tip for the fans out there in Staten Island?
Get a wife. No. No, that's against the other one. No. You know what? Comics, we tend to be, and I say that from my personal experience, we're very socially awkward at times, you know. The funnier they are, usually the more socially awkward they are. So I would say the most important thing is to try to get out of your zone, because you could be the funniest person in the world, but if you don't network in comedy, you don't get to talking to other comedians, you never know when you talk to a comedian where they're going to go.
Right.
Like,
network.
you know, one day I got to talking to you at the racetrack,
Right.
and now I'm on the Staten Island Comedy Show.
That's right. That's right. All right. Here you go.
You know, so
And you know who was sitting right in your seat? Fred Armisen from Saturday Night Live.
there you go.
There
You just never know when you're doing, like I did, so just to give you some context, I did open mics with Sarah Silverman, I did open mics with Judah Friedlander, and I did, you know, open mics with, well, Gaffigan was a year or two later. So I did it with all these comedians who today are megastars. So
Awesome.
you have to really network. Of course, I didn't network with any of them at the time, but you know.
Awesome.
But if you network with people, you never know when they're gonna hit it, and you know when they might remember you. Oh, he was a funny character. She was a funny character. You know, maybe I can use them in something or write with them.
Oh, cool. Great. That's a great tip, Staten Island. So if you're into becoming a comedian, please get the book, because there's a lot of good stuff in there for inspiring comics, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. With that note, we move on to our next guest, who is Bonnie Scalisi. I got your name correct. Okay, Bonnie, where are you from?
I'm from Long Island.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And who's your favorite comedian?
Like him, Jerry Lewis. I actually met Jerry Lewis.
Oh, I thought you met Goldberg.
I met Goldberg tonight, so
Oh, okay.
I've had a crush on him as
Oh.
a kid. It's an
Oh.
odd person to have a crush on,
I
but
thought you had a crush on me. Oh, cool.
so I
cool.
made my dad drive me all the way to Connecticut to watch him perform. And it was
Ah.
a pouring rainstorm, like the one that was just here. And my dad was cursing as he was driving, but I got my autograph copy from Jerry Lewis, and I have it to this day.
Awesome,
Wow.
awesome. All right.
Amazing.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I have no idea. I got into comedy for other reasons than I think most. I just do it for fun. And I really don't care how it goes or if it goes this way or that. I just do it to, like you said, to meet people, to have conversations and, you know.
To network.
Yeah, to
network,
have fun.
and have fun
Yeah.
and party, right? And,
Yeah,
and to laugh.
And to
Because
laugh.
they say that
I love to watch it just as much as I mean, actually more. I like to watch it more than to even perform it. I like to watch other people do it.
they say that laughter and comedy is a great distraction from what's going on in the world today.
Absolutely,
It's true.
absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so much going on too.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
You
So we need distractions.
Yes.
Okay, when somebody asks you to say something funny in the street, do you say something funny?
No. I am not naturally funny. Like the set that I worked on, I paid people to help me, and it's taken like a couple of years to come up with just a short little set.
Awesome.
It doesn't come naturally
No,
to me at all,
well,
but
it's-
I like to watch other people do it.
Right. Awesome, awesome. Now, where can they find you?
I'm on Facebook as my name, Bonnie Scalisi, and I'm on Instagram. I do a podcast called Wildflowers. Our guest was Richard Lampone, talk about networking. He made the movie Gender Bender, which had Gilbert Gottfried in it, and he's casting for Gender Bender 2 and a sitcom he's doing. And he said to me and my co-host Mandy, "You're going to be on our show." And I'm not even an
awesome,
actress.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah, congratulations.
It's like things just
Congratulations.
fall into your lap.
See, networking pays off, right, Al?
Yeah.
You know, and another thing, real quickly, sometimes comedians put a lot of pressure on themselves. They talk to other comedians, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm headlining Caroline's. Meanwhile, it's a show where they're bringing the audience, they're not really headlining. But what I'm saying is, it gets everybody else who listens to these stories in a state of panic, like, why isn't my career going that way? And Bonnie said something very important. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. And the more you don't care, sometimes the more things happen for you, because you've relieved yourself of all that layer of pressure.
Well, I'm a retired, well, you'll hear in my set, but I'm a retired kindergarten teacher, so, this is just for fun for me.
God bless you.
I do this for fun.
Yes.
All right, do you have a set for us tonight?
It's so funny. I usually have a cheat sheet that I put on a table next to it. So this is my first time doing it without the cheat sheet.
Wow, this is awesome. Woo! All right. Bonnie's going to see, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
So how's everybody doing tonight? All right, so I'm going through a midlife crisis right now, but don't worry, because I'm seeing a therapist. But the problem is, I started sleeping with him. Now he needs a therapist. Well, what do you expect? I was a kindergarten teacher for 32 years. So all day long I was, don't pick your nose, stop crying, get your finger out of her ass. And that was just the faculty. And it's hard for me to shake being a kindergarten teacher, because I did it for 32 years. So I'd be in bed with my husband and I'd be like having sex. I'd be like, "Oh, your face is gonna get stuck like that." I also used to be really overweight. I lost 80 pounds.
Wow.
I gained 10 back from COVID, but yeah, I was so fat that at my school, there were only 2 skinny men. So they asked me to play Santa every year, which I thought was weird because I'm Jewish. And one of the fattening foods that got me so fat is bacon. Clap if you love bacon. Who doesn't? I throw it on my cereal. I take matzah, I wrap it in bacon.
Nice.
For you non-Jews, bacon is the anal sex of the non-kosher foods. So I'm probably going to Jew-how. Or as I refer to it as, Florida. So I'm divorced. I couldn't take it anymore. My ex-husband, it was Italian and Jewish, which means he's so cheap he tried to extort money from himself. And he wanted me to be more forceful in bed. I forced myself to have sex with him. And one of his biggest complaints was that I was too dry. So I lubricated myself in Crisco. He couldn't hold on to save his life. Watching him slide off the bed and hit his head on the wall was the best sex that I ever had with him. So I have 2 autistic kids. And my 5-year-old little niece comes up to me and she says, "Aunt Bonnie, is there a difference between autistic and retarded?" I said, "Yes, honey. Your cousins are autistic and your uncle is retarded." So now I wrote a book for parents like myself who are raising autistic children. I call it, "You Clean the Crap Off the Walls." So I'm in the supermarket the other day, and happens often, this woman comes up to me and she says, "God only gives you what you can handle." Man, I hate that. So I told her, "Well, I'm glad you're handling your lazy eye." So my first son was autistic, and my ex-husband blamed my side of the family. So for the second pregnancy, I got a donor egg behind his back. Second kid turned out to be autistic. I took my ex-husband to the Maury Povich show, and when Maury read, "Bonnie, you are not the mother," I turned to my ex and I said, "I told you, I told you, I told you." See, I take everything literally. Like, I went to the Baby Gap. I couldn't believe they didn't give me a baby. And then I went to Dick's. Nothing there either. Let's see what happens when I go to BJ's. So now that I'm retired, I have time for myself. I go to the nail salon. I had never been before. And while my nails are drying, she started giving me a back massage. Yeah, a back massage, without having to give anything in return. I had to stop my automatic response to kneel down and give her a BJ. Dating after 28 years of marriage, what a difference. My friend told me if a guy buys you dinner, you have to have sex with him. So I'm on a date the other night and I'm thinking, do McNuggets count as dinner? That's just a hand job, right? Then I went on a date with another guy, took me to an expensive restaurant. The food was so delicious, I said, it's like I'm having an orgasm in my mouth. He said, I knew you'd love it. That's why I brought you here. I plan on having one in your mouth tonight, too. And that wasn't even the worst date of all. I went on a date with a guy that had Tourette's syndrome. And he rejected me. At least if we had gone out on a second date, I might have been able to figure out what made him tick. So I'm new to social media, and my daughter is coaching me on how to handle, cell phone. She said, Mom, you have a real problem with dick pics. So I said, okay, I'll stop posting them. So I've been going through a horrible divorce for 2 years, and my boyfriend has been patiently waiting for 5 years. So I went for my COVID shots. The first one went okay. But after the second one, I no longer have a penis. And I went to the store the other day, and I noticed that the cashier has a name tag that says Destiny. So I thought to myself, well, what is her stripper name, Mary? And I love Chinese food. My favorite part is when you open up the fortune cookie at the end. So open up the first one, and it said, you fat, why you eat cookie? I open up the next one, and it says, you nasty, and your lucky number is 4. So now I'm pissed. I open up the last fortune cookie, and it says, God only gives you what you can handle. Holy crap! I didn't know that lazy-eyed bitch wrote fortune cookies. The best part about getting a divorce is I won't have a mother-in-law anymore because I killed her. Nah, I didn't kill her, but it did go down as a COVID death. What do Republicans, Democrats, and my mother-in-law all have in common?
What?
They all won't shut the F up. And let me tell you something. When she was alive, number 1, she was a selfish bee. Number 2, she was a freaking selfish bee. And number 3, she was a big freaking everyone selfish
bee.
Good class. I'm going to tell you what I have in the trunk of my car. Crisco oil, Xanax, and my mother-in-law. Thank you, everybody. I'm Bernie.
The show's going good, right?
Great.
It's a great show.
We're
and
4 for 4.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Al, is there any other tips of the golden rules in the book? A quick tip that you can give
A
us.
real quick tip is be yourself. A lot of people, they struggle in the beginning. Sometimes they'll do one-liners a lot, and they'll do, God forbid, borrowed material. But try to find your own voice. Try to be who you are, because nobody can copy that.
Right. Yeah, everybody has their own personality.
Be an
Everybody has-
original.
Right, your own
Talk
face.
about your life. There's so much material there. If you think about all the years of your life, your family, your younger years. These are all things and experiences that can't be duplicated.
Awesome. Okay, so the book, the cover, the dynamic cover of this book, and you were on the virtual show, and I put together a little bit that you were, actually your face was in the microphone head.
Right.
Because the whole cover is your face in the microphone head.
With a cigar.
With a cigar,
Right.
and you are the microphone.
Right.
So if they have that roll-in ready.
So Drew Tessier, he came up with something that incorporated
my signature cigar, which I usually smoke, as well as comedy, the microphone head, and my picture. And it came out, and a lot of people loved it, and that's really how it got started.
Oh, awesome.
Enhance your act.
Okay, well, that's the end of the show.
That's great.
That's great. Thank you, Al, for all that insight, for your professionalism. Thank you, Miranda Panda. Thank you, Jody Oliver. Thank you, Freddie Coscia. And Freddie
Thank you,
Coscia, you're going to
guys.
roll us out and give some sponsors?
Sponsors, AJC
The
Advisors.
Oriental Plaza.
Oriental Plaza.
Diddle
They provided-
Deep Bagel and Deli.
Yes.
Provided the food.
How about Bella Beans Cafe?
Bella Beans Cafe.
They provided the crumb cake
The
tonight.
crumb
They
cake,
got the
beautiful
best-
crumb cake, and the
Oh,
best
the-
coffee.
The crumb
Yeah,
cake.
best coffee in
Beautiful.
Staten
That
Island.
cake is
Missed it.
And who else do we got?
Diddly Dee Deli.
Hi, tobacco.
Hi Diddly D.
Hi, Diddly Dee.
Hi, diddly.
That's a famous deli on the.
Yes.
Okay, and we did Oriental Plaza, right? And,
High Tobacco too.
And High Tobacco.
High
If you
Tobacco,
want
yeah.
to choke a
Yeah.
little bit. You know.
Okay, Freddie Coscia's going to roll us out.
All right, here we go.
Goodbye, everybody. See you next time. on Saturday Night
Ladies and gentlemen, live on Staten Island, it's the Staten Island Comedy Show with your host, Nevin Cummings!